And one. Hello, welcome. My name is Bryce Tubbs. With me today is Vinita Ramtri. She's a life and professional coach and a speaker. And I'm super excited to be able to share her story with you guys today. Is there anything else you'd like me to add to that introduction, Vinita?
No, I'm good.
Nice. I really appreciate your time and I really appreciate, your flexibility today. I know our schedules were kind of up and down, but I really appreciate you.
That's okay. Thank you. And I'm sorry I messed up with the schedule as well. So it's
Oh,
also my
that's
fault.
okay. So what was life like before you got into coaching, and what was the catalyst that got you into this field?
I think I've always been a coach, to be honest. So I've never formally used the label that I'm a coach. But almost my second job, really, when I was about 20 years old, I was a trainer and a facilitator and a coach. So I've always been doing this. But just so I think it's probably not obvious on my profile, but I've always also had other jobs. So I do continue to coach people, and it's more organic. So I'll have a lot of people come up to me to say, "Can you be my coach and can you be my mentor?" And that's what I do for them. And now I'm getting more into it. But all along, I have been a coach. And even right now, I do coach, but I also work at a bank in London. So Monday to Friday, I work at the bank. And then when I have any coaching to do, then I do that in the evenings. I do that on the weekends. So that's normally my pattern.
Yes. Yeah, so that's kind of cool. So who do you generally work with?
Um, it's a bank in London. So you can name
No, but like coaching clients, like,
coaching clients. Okay, so coaching clients I work with, mostly there'll be two or three types. So one will be professionals, which are around, I'd say 30, 40 years old. They are people along the same kind of profile that I have. So they would be in other financial firms and they will need guidance with their careers and how to navigate really complex organizations. Or they would be, I'm a single parent. So I usually also have coaches who are single parents and who are women, could be men. They're trying to navigate managing a career, managing parenting, and everything that comes together. So usually that tends to be the profile of coaches that I have.
nice. And so they're generally trying to navigate their career. That's really cool that you're able to help them. And so I guess what's the vision for your life?
So my vision would be, it is really that I want to do more of this. So currently, because I also work all days, I'd say like 5 days. So I do coaching, but I'm also passionate about writing. So literally right now, if it's Sunday, I'm writing since the morning because I'm working on a book for Kindle. And the vision for my life really is to find more time to do these things that I love. So I want to be able to write. I just say for now, like maybe a couple of days a week. But all the same, I don't want to become a full time coach or a full time writer because I do feel that by being able to do these multiple things, I bring a lot from the other fields into my field. So, for example, if I'm coaching and then I actually have work experience in what I'm talking about, then I'm able to offer a lot more value. So, my vision would be to find that ideal balance between all of them and to always be able to change it as well.
Mhm.
Because some days I feel like doing more of one thing and some days I want to do more of another. So, my vision's not static.
Mhm. Okay. And what is success to you?
Success to me is being able to wake up and have the freedom to do what I feel like doing.
Mhm.
So if I wake up one day and I feel like going for a run, I should be able to do that. Another day I wake up and I just want to ride, I should be able to ride. So yeah, I'm very much driven by not my time, but my energy. And success for me is being able to do what my energy wants me to do.
Do you have some tips about, kind of listening to yourself? So that's a really interesting skill that you have to be able to kind of feel feel what your energy is for that day and actually follow through with it.
So I don't have a specific tip, but yeah, actually I do maybe is to journal and to write down, what you're actually feeling like. Like there are days when and I can see it, I can sense the energy, because if you really practice self-awareness, then you're very aware of what's going on. So let's assume that I wake up at about 4:30. I wake up really early. So I wake up and I start writing. But I can start feeling by 6 o'clock that I don't want to stop and I want to keep writing. But I know at 6 o'clock I have to get my son up and I have to get him ready for school. And then I have to go to the office. And then by the time I come back, it'll be 6 in the evening. But if in that moment, a tip would be to capture what your energy wants you to do. And then you can observe patterns, because I know that that's a pattern and that happens every day by 6 o'clock.
Mm.
But I don't want to stop. So I know by now that, okay, that is but the same thing doesn't happen to me if I'm, doing something else, that, hey, I don't want to stop. So that's a tip to follow, is that when is it that you're so engrossed in what you're doing that you could go on and do it forever. So that's one thing to follow. And of course, again, like I also run pretty much every day, but that's another energy type. Like, so if you wake up and you feel, I think again, you just start sensing these things. You feel like you just want to go out to the park, you just want to run for an hour, then you want to write. So just always, follow that intuition, I would say, because otherwise you're compromising your energy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Are you working on any special projects or books or anything like that? Or
It's very interesting. So I'm working on a book right now, but I'm almost working on the third version of it, because I started a book for Kindle, which was going to be about, how to overcome the panic and the pandemic and the crisis. But it's very interesting. I was interviewing someone this morning for my book, and when I showed him a draft of the book, the feedback he gave me was actually the beginning of the book, which is more of a side story that I had put. He found that really interesting, and he said, make the whole book like that.
oh,
So I'm almost recutting the full book based on that feedback after I finished the full book.
uh,
But if you see, the first part was a prologue, which I started like a story. And the rest of it was tip one, tip two, tip three. But he says, no, write it like a story because you're good at storytelling. So I'm almost recutting the whole thing and continuing the story. So it's a special project, but now it's become even more complex to do,
uh-huh.
because it's giving you tips to say these are the 5 things to do. But I have to tell you from my story to say this is why, based on my experience, I think you should do that. So it's just become a little more complicated and difficult, but yeah, that's the fun of it, right?
Yeah. So, you know, which one do you think was more of a challenge or is more of a challenge? Writing it or editing it?
I'm still not even editing it because I'm rewriting it.
That's what I'm saying, but the
Yeah.
rewrite's technically part of writing, right?
So writing wasn't a challenge. So writing
Uh,
comes naturally to me. So writing is not the challenge, because the more challenging part in the writing, my thoughts are very clear. So the writing is very clear and it flows very clearly. But the structure is the part that takes the time. So I spend a lot of time creating the structure to say, okay, there's an introduction, there are 10 chapters here and 10 over here. I create that shell and I start plotting it. But now the editing is hard because I've already filled those shells. But now you go, hey, no, actually, we need the shelf to look like that. And I
yeah.
still have to put that same content and retrofit it into another shelf. So
Uh,
it's harder. Yes, it's harder.
Interesting. You know, so how can people who are watching learn more about you and where can they go to connect with you?
So they can, basically, my name is Vinita Ramtri, right? And I'm the only Vinita Ramtri in the world. So
Oh,
they
wow.
can connect with me wherever. If you just Google my name, my website is vinitaramtri.com. My Facebook is Vinita Ramtri. My LinkedIn is Vinita Ramtri. My Instagram is Vinita Ramtri. So I'm there on most of these portals. My Twitter is Vinita_Ramtri. So I'm there on all of these portals. If they really need to write to me, then I'm on through my website. So yeah, I'm very easily available and sociable. I write very much on LinkedIn. So I post pretty much about 3 or 4 days a week. So
Nice.
I'm always there.
Let me ask you this question. So since Zoom doesn't really show the full name, can you spell your full name so people watching?
Yeah, so Vinita, Vinita, and Ramtri, Romeo, Alpha Mother, Tango, Romeo, India.
Nice. Excellent. I really appreciate you taking the time out of your schedule to do this interview. It's really fun to talk to you.
Thank you.
Excellent. And for those watching, if you would like to learn more and watch great content just like this, with people just like Vinita who are improving themselves and helping others to do the same, I recommend you come and click on the link either above or below this video to our free community, either on LinkedIn or on Facebook. Basically, what we're doing is we're creating a mastermind where people who are like-minded can come together and start improving their lives together. So if that is you, go ahead and click on the link below or above the video, depending on where you're seeing it, and plug into this community. I cannot wait to see you inside. Hopefully you enjoyed watching this video as much as we enjoyed creating it. Feel free to hit that share button so other people get some value as well. Have a great day, guys. Talk to you soon. We're done recording in 3 and 2. And where's the record button?